Latin America's underperformance, economic underperformance, is not an obvious, it was not an obvious outcome. It was not something that we were destined to happen. Because, for example, centuries ago, Latin American societies, if you compare the North with the South, centuries ago, the South have already social institutions developed. It had a society going on. It had the natural resources, the land, everything, to develop at the same rate or even more than the North. But the reality is that North America and the US really developed, really took over, and Latin America didn't do it. Besides that, think about all the conditions associated with economic development, like natural resources. We have it. Large markets, we have it. Societies that are not involved in war with each other, we have that as well. But compared to all that, we don't grow economically. And the third puzzle when it comes to Latin America's lack of development is that we have tried many recipes. It's not that we have not tried. There has been attempts to rebuild the economy through what they call import substitution industrialization, which is more mercantilistic industrial policies. There has been attempts towards market reforms in the 1990s, what they call the Washington Consensus. And of course, there has been all these socialist experiments as well, especially in the 2000s. And of course, in every single one of these examples, the economy underperformed. It underperformed when they were implementing high tariff industrial policy, but it also underperformed when we were implementing trade and economic liberalization in the 1990s. So the goal here is to start arriving to some answers in Latin America. And while it is tempting to just offer a single explanation, I think there is different explanations. And I think that it's also very important to understand that the main reason that each country in Latin America failed at each specific time is something that we need to take into consideration, because every moment and every context matters a lot. I'm talking about Latin America in a broad perspective, but the reality is that when you analyze Chile or Argentina or Venezuela or Colombia, we are extremely particular countries throughout our history, and we have very specific contexts. It is very important to policymakers to also understand what is achievable and what is not achievable, because we need to really diagnose why we are not having economic development in Latin America, because recipes that do not understand the context tend to fail. And I think that's why it's really important to emphasize that.